My name's Adam Monaco and I'm the Financial Controller for High Tech Oils. With our national capacity, we can now service Australian companies nationwide. Of late, we have now expanded into the New Zealand market. Here at High Tech Oils, we receive premium base oils and premium additive packs. Together, with our highly trained staff, we manufacture over 500 premium quality products. High Tech Oils is Australian made and Australian owned.
Welcome back, trackside here at Winton Motor Raceway for round 3 of the Shannons Australian Motor Racing Nationals. We switch over to true endurance mode. Gary O'Brien's jumped right back next to me for this race, and Gaz, 300 Ks for production cars ahead of us.
Certainly a long race, but and it's a tactical race as well. It's just not a matter of going fast. You've got to nurse the car a little bit at stages, because these are production cars. They're not built as race cars. You can basically say the race will be split into half, because with the way it works is a driver change should happen around halfway through the race.
Well, we certainly expect it to go rain-free. The local conditions here are absolutely magnificent. Let's have a quick look at the field as they come around to line up to take the green light to start this race. It'll be Will Brown in the Oztech Wire and Cable Evo 10. Nathan Morecambe will share with Supercars great bloke Chaz Mostert. Then Bob Pearson will share with, the journeyman Rick Bates, very, very quick. Keith Bensley at the wheel of the Mercedes. Rick Shaw will come out of P5 in the RX-8. The Mini next, number 50, with Keane at the wheel. Michael Gray will start the Corolla. Then we go to Grant Burgess. This is a car to watch in the Kia GT. Some fine bits of kit sitting on the front row there. Mitsubishi Evo, that has been the stalwart, the winningest of cars in production car racing for some time, and gets away nicely. Does Bob Pearson at the wheel of the product car. He draws right alongside Chaz Mostert and will go side by side with him into turn 1. You're not going to win it in turn 1, boys. You've got to get it through turn 1 and get through there. So Mostert hangs on cold tyres. Bob Pearson says, righto, we'll play that game. And we've got a long race ahead. Have a look at the V8 Commodore. Gets past the RX-8, gets past Michael Gray, and in fact got through Keane and Kirkham there as well on the run down to turn 1. Already up into position 5 on the road, and it's got Keith Bensley in the BMW in front now. So looking to make score early in the big V8 from Bill Stein.
That was an awesome start from Lillis to come from where he did. He was outside the top 10 and made up so many positions as we see him go down through turn number 7 and into what they call a cleavage, and that's that Commodore now ahead of the RX-8, the Class C leading car. It's been a phenomenal start. That puts him up to position 5 behind the Bentley BMW, and we're just looking to see where the M4 is at this stage. You can't seem to see it out there at the moment.
Yeah, we expect to have seen it blazing away. In fact, I haven't seen it on track there. Bensley now just defending to the charging HSV. Goes side by side. Gee, Lillis has got the car working underneath him, hasn't he?
It's going quicker than yesterday.
Yeah, it's absolutely early. Coming on strong. They're going to try and run away with it. They've already made their way up to P4, starting well outside the top 10. In fact, they had a 14th position. This is a ripping start. Didn't even see it coming down into turn 1 there.
I don't think anyone else seen it coming either.
The big HSV.
Will Brown continues to lead as we see the Focus with Chaz Mostert at the wheel in second spot. Bob Pearson in third. We've got an issue with our timing. We haven't got Mostert as showing on the Focus, but certainly in second position. Chris Lillis in fourth, Bensley fifth, and then Lachlan Gibbons in the Subaru will be in sixth position. Rick Shaw has dropped a spot there, although he was ahead of him early.
No M4.
No M4 out there, and we've just had Gibbons go past Gore and Shaw in behind them. So it's all gone topsy-turvy on us in the first couple of laps here, as Phil Kirkham's made a pretty good start of things too, to be ahead of Gray, and also Keane in the Mini, Armin in the back rear starting Renault Megane is the next one. Then we've got Burgess, Currier and Luff in the 2 Class E cars. Those are the little Suzuki Swift Sports.
might just seek some confirmation because car 11 that we thought had Chase Mostert on it, and that was what the screen was telling us, has now reverted to Nathan Morecambe at the wheel. So
maybe they're doing a change on the fly.
We'll get that confirmed for him. We'll also try and get some information on the number 18 in Sharon BMW as to why it hasn't come around. There's the Oztec wire and cable car with Will Brown at the wheel, who did a splendid job yesterday easing this car to victory. In fact, in the last few laps, he was told to slow because unbeknownst to us and even unbeknownst to them, there was a diff issue with that car. They've rectified it now. We're going to have a look at the replay of the start. This is into the first lap with, that's Will Brown into turn 7 on the opening lap. Big lock-up on the back there and bounce the car around. Don't want to be doing any rear lock-ups like that, especially with the diff issue they had yesterday, albeit they've fitted another one. You don't want to be giving it punishment like that. And here's a big battle pack starting to form up behind Keith Bensley. It's now Michael Armand, who is charging at this. Hasn't done any laps other than a couple to qualify for this weekend. Didn't get any running yesterday. Was really looking forward to getting back behind the wheel. His father made a name for himself in production cars, and Michael hasn't done any production car racing but would like to get the experience. Of course, these long distance races are always a big attraction to a racer that wants to get plenty amounts of laps, feel the difference physically that you feel after sort of 30 or 40 laps of going around a track, how you can really turn a lap on or get into the groove, as they like to say, when we go to Mount Panorama for the 1000 every year.
Cheap racing too, because you're sharing the entry, you're sharing the costs of running a weekend, particularly if it's an event like the 6 hour where you can have 3 drivers, even in some cases 4 drivers.
So the tough tale still continues with Shannons, and Andrew Rawls has tracked them down in pit lane.
Michael, not the place we want to see the BMW. What seems to be the problem?
We're not really sure at the moment. I mean, did a motor change overnight. Everything was right. We went out for the warm-up and it was as good as our old motor. Went out there to start the race and it was just doughy. Just didn't have anything. The motor's revving up and all. The motor seems okay. It's something missing between the motor and the accelerator. So guys are looking into it at the moment. Hopefully we can at least get out there today.
Here we go. Here, this battle still goes on. Michael Armand looks to the inside. He just can't get it up there. Maybe turn 7's not the spot, Mikey. Maybe you've got to do it. Oh,
that's
they
the way
come
to do
together
it.
now and tear the add-on off the side of the car there as Michael Armand goes through, and it's well, this crew have had enough battle wounded out of the Osborne Motorsport car. They lose a bit of a side skirt as well that time through, but Michael Armand will release the frustration now and gets through. Let's have a look at that again. He was there, ducked in behind. Bensley understeered wide. Michael saw the opening, and you've got to say that was a play-on type of incident, wasn't it? The Bensley car went wide, so Michael Armand filled the gap.
Well, there's a bit of trailing debris off the side of the Renault Megane too. Let's hope it doesn't mean a pit stop to pull that all off.
It's in our first safety car with 91 laps remaining. This could be a long afternoon if we're getting one this early. So it's
debris?
Yeah, I'd suggest so.
Yes.
Yeah, there it is, and that looks like the debris off the Megane. The orange trim from the Osborne Racing outfit.
It certainly negated that lead that Will Brown had managed to eke out. So they'll be line astern. Pearson will pick up that 12-second deficit to the second place car as well.
Here's good news from the lane. Number 18, the Sharon Rentals M4, albeit 10 laps down, will rejoin the race. They front up to pit exit.
Have to wait.
Shut until the train goes past.
Exactly. Have to wait till the safety car goes past.
I suppose one more lap's not going to really matter when you're joining the fray 10 laps in.
Well, if this car goes according to its form, it is a weapon. It might pick up a fair few of that.
We're racing again now and charging down to turn 1. Will Brown does a very nice job. Gets the jump on Nathan Morecambe. And a good clean restart there. Bob Pearson goes to the dirt there, trying not to lose any ground. And there's a Subaru that's weighing into this one, Gaz. Gibbons the wheel.
Snuck up on him pretty quickly, has he, Lachlan Gibbons?
Done a good job yesterday until the thing expired on them. But doing a ripping job now as he ranges up onto the back of Bob Pearson. And there's our race leaders, and we're just looking at the two cars just behind them. But here's the pressure now. Nathan Morecambe not wanting to see Will Brown drive away in the Evo this time around?
Right
Get
behind
right back
him.
onto him.
Right behind him, Gibbons goes down the inside of Pearson. Does he get away with it? As we see Michael Arman exiting the pit lane.
It's all the good work that Michael Arman's done early on in this race has come undone with that little coming together out of turn 7 on the run up to 8 there. They've cleared the debris off the side of the car. They've cleared the debris off the track, and we go racing again.
Yeah, and while we were quickly glancing that, Lachlan Gibbons has taken over 3rd position from Bob Pearson, so that's been a good run, and of course been long-time rivals, these two manufacturers with these cars, as looked like Pearson was going to have a go at him there. Came back up onto the back of the Impreza as they went down to turn 11.
Tony Shebecki's chasing the stories in pit lane. Tony.
Yeah, Daz, we've got Colin Osborne with us. Colin, that's what's left of that little guard on the side of the car.
Yeah, look, Michael was caught behind one of the BMWs and went for a pass, and the door got closed or something, and the result is this bit was hanging off. So to the people at Renault, spare parts ordered during the week, thanks.
Yeah, well, Tony Shebecki was talking to Colin Osborne. We've had a change of lead, and it's just going to come up on a replay right now. You'll see coming into turn 3, the auto action sign in the background, and going down the inside is Nathan Walcombe as he takes over from his Super 2 teammate in Will Brown.
This is Michael Gray with Rick Shaw, who's recovering from an unplanned pit stop with just to check out the front of the car. They've changed the tyre, thought it was a wheel bearing, so possibly pressing on now. The other thing is with the number 18 BMW is back in the lane as well. So they got out, did 2 laps, and unfortunately Ian Sharon has brought the M4 back into pit lane.
Yeah, it hasn't been a good weekend for Sharon Rentals.
Well, they had the same issue when they bought the 135 out originally. They had issues and concerns. They developed, they tested, they made the thing better, and it's obviously what they're going to have to do with the M4 as well now. They don't have there's not something that BMW give you to take a road car and a race car and make it immediately fast and reliable. You've got to do that yourself.
Yeah, because they're production cars. That's what the whole business of racing in production cars is, that you've got to make these cars work for you. And at times you can't go as quick as you'd like to.
Tony Shebecki has got Rod Salmon.
Yeah, we certainly have, Daz. Nice little dice out there, mate.
Yeah, the boys are having a little real go. They're obviously teammates, as you've said, so pretty exciting. He needs to give me a bigger gap than that, though, by the time I get in, because I'm, not looking forward to racing with Chaz. So.
Oh, but it's a nice challenge, isn't it, coming up against a young bloke like Chaz?
Yeah, it is. But I'm an old bloke. He's a young bloke, and he'll be going, I reckon. But look, we've got a strategy, and I think there's still a big chance. We've done some big changes overnight because the car actually did a rear diff, and then caliper was broken. So, the fact that we got home and won yesterday with a limping car, if the car holds out today, I think we've got another chance.
Covered himself very well there, didn't he? And as he said, he's not looking forward to racing Chaz. You haven't got much of a job in front of you. You just got to beat Chaz Mostert, you'll win this race.
Yeah, Bathurst winner. Well, in fact, both of them are as well, in different forms of the sport. But certainly, he loves his motorsport. Great benefactor to motorsport as well, Rod Salmon. He's put his money where his mouth is numerous times, and got his own motorsport, and Brent brought on numerous other races as well into the scene. So it's good to see him at the track, good to see him smiling and enjoying it as well. Tony Shebecki's working hard in pit lane, Tone.
It's really nice, close racing, isn't it? It was the same yesterday as well.
Yeah, it was. It was pretty hectic. We were a bit unlucky yesterday, ended up trying to be a bit too greedy on our tyres, and it didn't get quite away with it. But it proved that you could get away with it. The Evo got away with it yesterday. So it was. We'll see what happens today. After obviously a lot of people would have pulled their tyres off last night and been a little bit worried about the distance on them. So we'll see what happens during the pit stops today.
Michael Gray off into the boonies, bouncing across the infield here at Winton Motor Raceway. There was a raging battle going on with Kirkham and Keane. He continues on.
Cost him the lead in Class D.
Yeah, but he's gained, come back on the track within sight of the main protagonists in his class, but it does give them a very clear lead away from him.
Yeah, they've got quite a good advantage. Of course, Phil Kirkham's car is also in that class, so that's been a great battle between the three of them.
Yeah, the Class D battle has raged all the way through this race, and unfortunately for us, Michael Gray has Just eased off the back of these two. I dare say he'll get the head down and get back on with it. Here we go into the sweeper. Michael Gray out wide. Phil Kirkham won't have any of that. And off Michael Gray goes. You've got to suggest Michael probably could have fought on with that, but it was going to be diminishing opportunities at that stage. What he's managed to do now is to gather it all up and does get it back on the black stuff. Hopefully no damage done there. Change for the lead whilst we're talking to Chaz Mostert there. His car's just been relegated back to P2. Will Brown did nothing short of just drive straight past Nathan Morecambe. There really wasn't a battle put up for it. Let's hope there's not an issue with the focus, because it actually did look like it just slowed.
It's not a place where you normally would sit past. And again, Brown in all sorts of trouble down at turn 9. And Morecambe this time says, right, I'm going to have a bit of this. No, Brown holds him out. But he can see he's in the right spot now for turn 9. And can he get it done?
Oh, Brown
does.
There's some sort of shock absorber issue in that car. It's really not responding well to power inputs on mid-corner there. So that's what happened. And Nathan Morecambe hasn't been there pressurising him or touching him or anything like that. He's just been there. And Will Brown is almost driving desperately.
He did get it up on the ripple strip.
Yeah, he's attacking the curbs. There it is, out over the ripple strip, opened it up. Probably at that stage should have said, yeah, righto, Nathan, you've got through. And here he confirms it as well. Look at that. Just really, that's not a pretty thing to be driving when it's doing that like that. And that's about 1/3 the way through the corner. So probably should have been just a little bit more patient with getting on the gas there.
This would be an unexpected stop, about 8 laps short, although they are doing a driver change. So I suppose if they have had to come in early, why not get this driver change done now? This is Richard Luff and Caitlin Hawkins' car. Caitlin, of course, from Benalla, local area, so a bit of local flavour for this one. They're doing fuel as we see the BMW with Keith Bensley about to step out of it and Scott Gore to go in for his second stint, if you count yesterday's start as the first stint.
Got another manual fuel fill here.
Brings it in nice and close to the pump as well. Very well done. The Evo looks like it's almost rear steering, doesn't it, through a lot of the corners?
Yeah, it's not a pretty thing at the moment. It's a limited slip diff that's opening up, and there it is into the lane now. So on 51 laps now, Nathan Morecambe, it is time to push. Try and get as much gap as you possibly can during these next couple of laps. Rod Salmon will jump on board, and if this car's not behaving nicely, Rod Salmon's in for a pretty tough old hour and a half or so out there out on track.
Jerry Burgess brings the Kia in as well.
Yeah, it's running well. I've said it 5 or 6 times already this weekend. That Kia is just doing all the things right. I guess that's got a fair bit to do with the preparation that the crew have put into it. Terry Conroy Motorsport, they know production car racing.
Will Brown getting out of the car and ready and willing to takes his padding out. Not like a actual seat mould, but just a bit of styrene, whatever. No, not even that. It's just foam.
Yeah, bit of mattress overlay or something like that. Bit of foam there.
Done that.
Move interior over the line, cruise over the line, and Rod Salmon goes. So good car control, a good presence of mind there to not send him before the crew had been over the line. Just bobbling in the lane there a little bit, Rod Salmon. And the Kia Proceed Hankook Tyres car heads back out on track. Right in behind the Bob Pearson car that Rick Bates is now back at the wheel of, the number 33. We'll be back after this quick break here at the Shannons Nationals. Welcome back trackside here. This is round 3 of the Shannons Nationals, Winton Motor Raceway. Here comes the race leader, Nathan Morecambe, on lap number 55. He's coming into turn 3 right now, is car 2 on the road, Rod Salmon. So let's see what happens. There's definitely fuel going in.
It's interesting that out on track as we speak, Agathos is trying to unlap himself from what we expect will be near enough to lap leader, the race leader in Salmon by the time they come around. Well, actually, Rod Salmon has got the lead of the race while that was happening. At the moment, it would appear that Salmon's lead will be somewhere in the region of about 40-odd seconds, with Mostert in second, Bates in third, Agathos in fourth, and maybe a lap down.
Pretty much what happened yesterday.
Basically, yeah.
Pretty much what happened yesterday. It's played out, except the fact we're probably 4 laps further into the race now, so Chaz Mostert's ability to do it. I think it's a wise choice to give Chaz Mostert a fresh set of tyres on the front of the car, the working tyres on this particular car, for him to go out there and do what he can do with his hands and feet and really start to wring the neck of the direct plaster water outlet Rondo Focus. And we go down to Andrew Rolls.
I'm with one very happy chappy, Will Brand. Fantastic stint out there. How was it?
Yeah, good. The car's got a couple of problems. We were trying to fix the centre diff before we went out. The oil pump's not working, so we're getting quite bad locking in the rear. But I just thought, if we can stick with Nathan in the Focus for most of the stint, and then I'll hand over to Rod and we can see what we can do from there. But we had a win yesterday, so hopefully we can come top 2 again today.
Good luck. Tony, over to you.
A place here at Winton where teammates become enemies. How funny is that? You guys, of course, know each other so well from the Super 2s, racing against each other in a good race as well.
I definitely do. We're actually here on Wednesday testing our Super 2s, but definitely a hard-fought battle with Will. Looked like he had a bit of a diff issue, but we also had a power steering issue and a bit of our modes in the car, but it was a bit even battle, so it was pretty much salvage the race and keep racing hard and push on, and all about keeping a gap to the guys behind us. And yesterday we came up short with a flat tyre that cost us the win, so this time we changed the 2 fronts just so that wouldn't happen again. And it looks like the other boys didn't change tyres, so we got to hunt them down now. So I reckon it's going to be a race to the end.
Rod Salmon leads the way over Chaz Mostert to Rick Bates and Dimitri Agathos, albeit almost, a lap down now, a lap and a car length down, so Rod Salmon has fought back. Here's number 2 on the road, Chaz Mostert, car 11.
12 seconds between first and second. That gap has just been molested, I guess, for a lack of
obliterated.
Yes, for a lack of a better word, he's hoed into that one, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's bringing that expectation back down from 10 laps to maybe 7 laps that he gets, at least gets onto the back of Rod Salmon. And Rod's not hanging about. He just had Dimitri Agathos go through him and then returned fire and has managed to keep Dimitri Agathos off the lead lap there as well. So there's a bit left there in the Evo 10, but is there enough left there to fend off this charge from car number 11? As Andrew Rolls has got more information for us from the Winton pit lane.
Yes, I'm with Chris Lillis. And Chris, an unscheduled pit stop there. What was the problem?
We just keep having problems with the dry brake fuel, so it's not filling properly. So luckily the boys next door let us just pump it in by hand. So we're doing it old school, but same problem we had yesterday. It's a brand new car, a lot of teething problems. So we're just learning this side of it. So he's fueled up to the end now. So unless he gets tired, I won't get back in, and car's going good. So we're hopefully we can get back into 5th.
It's good to see the crew have been able to go to the garage next door and say, hey, do your deal on fuel. I'll pay you for your fuel. I'll fill it up after we can empty it if you let us do that. And that's good to see. It's what it's all about down in this sort of racing.
The gap now down to 1.9 seconds. So any tick of the clock now we'll see a lead change. You can see the 2 cars are in the one picture as they come down to complete lap 77. And nothing in between them at this stage.
Round 3 of the Shannons Australian Motor Racing Nationals, the Shannons Nationals. And this is the round 2 for the Australian Production Car Series, and leg 2 if you like, 600 k's the distance, 2 races, 100 k's yesterday, 300 k's, 100 laps, and exactly the same distance today. We've covered 78 laps already, and we're in the closing stages, and it's going to really start to heat up, Gaz, and I don't know how many times we've done these races together, but the first sort of half an hour can be a bit torrid, and then we have a lull, if you like, or a settling down, where the cards start to fall, how the race plays out, and then we get to about the last 20 laps, and it's going to go again today, isn't it? About lap 20, we're going to have lead swaps, and it's going to be on for young and old here. But now this is Chaz Mostert ranging up onto the back of Rod Salmon. Both of them have had careers of success, albeit probably a couple of decades apart from each other.
Yeah, Rod Salmon was originally one of the privateer racers in the early years of the supercars with Damien White, actually, who raced at Bathurst in a Falcon AU, and of course both have gone on and did other things after that.
Damien White notoriously headed up operations in supercars for quite some time.
He raced a Ute for quite a while, had to go in the development series in a Commodore for a little while as well.
Now in charge of the rebuilding, I believe, up at Queensland Raceway, a new racetrack there, and I just saw on screen the grey Kirkham car. Now they're on different parts of the race now because it's best, and the silver Corolla is actually on lap number 73 and the Kirkland car is on lap 70, so there's no real battle to try and slow down the Kirkham charge.
A replay of the pass for the leader. We've seen this before, haven't we?
Yep.
But this time there's a bit more gap in it, and Rod Salmon said, well, it's all yours, buddy, just go on through, we're not going to contest it. He knows he can't match Chas Mostert's pace, and that allows the Ford Focus RS through to take the lead, and almost immediately pulls out something like 3.5 seconds with that gap between second and third at 42.3 seconds. Now Salmon will be conscious that he has 21 laps to maintain a 42-second gap, which you would think at this stage is probably quite possible and quite achievable. Salmon in the pits. So this has come out of the blue. Rod Salmon pulling in the pits out of position 2. This should elevate the product car up to second. Weren't expecting dramas at this stage, although they did talk about power steering issues. Not power steering, but that centre diff in this car. And we've got a safety car. So something's happened around the track. We don't know whether it's debris or whatever. Now this is just what Rick Bates needed. It brings him right up onto the tail of Chas Mostert with something in the order of 19 laps to go. But what we've got the safety car for, we haven't spotted as yet. We'll keep an eye out for that one.
As we go down to Tony Shebeki with Will Brown in the pit lane.
Well, that's damn disappointing, mate. What was the problem?
We're not too well. We think it's a centre diff again. He's getting a bad smell of fumes in the car, so we're pretty sure it's a centre diff. And we had that problem yesterday when we limped it home. So he's just going to have to go out and limp it home again, and try to get some points for his championship.
So you've lost first, obviously. Second probably on the line there as well, wasn't it?
Yeah. The second was on the line. If we kept up the pace we were doing, we would have got second quite comfortably. But that's racing, I guess. And Rod will get it ready for the next round. I'm sure he'll have a good race.
Bob, no better a time for a safety car, hey?
Perfect, actually. We went down a little bit because we changed one extra tyre, but as you can see with the Salmon car, that was a wise move. And we think Rick's got the pace of Mostert, but we're going to find out. He certainly had the pace over him in qualifying. So as long as the tyres are still up to it, looks pretty good.
It peels off Rod Salmon again now, so the number 6 car got a new left front, right front as well, so that's interesting. And we go racing again now, green flag waved, and the field gets away. Chas Mostert's hauled them all up to a halt as we got big dives. There's Agathos coming through. Where's Rick Bates? Trying to stay out of trouble. I'd suggest not getting too racy with the RX-8. Trying to get his way through there, but Tyler Eberingham's going to follow him through and try and get through there as well. There's the Burgess car, there goes the Kirkham's car, sans rear bumper.
He's threading the needle at the moment, getting through the lap traffic, and then once he gets clear of the best car in turn 5, now he can focus on trying to get to that focus. And the only other car he'll have to pass is the Subaru that's in between them. And the Subaru runs a little bit wide out of turn 8 on that occasion.
Certainly clear track, in fact about 2.5 kilometres of clear track in front of Chas Mostert at the time. Salmon still in the pits. The other one is Vinciella in the 64 HSV. He's pushing hard as well, starting to carve up the field a little bit there. So they're trying to push their way back through, and the Evo 10 of Rod Salmon is in the pits. Will Brown was off to shower up, and the car comes into pit lane.
That's looking very diff.
Yeah,
like
they look
problem
under the back of the car, and then look like you're not going to do a whole lot about it either.
No, not at this stage of the game.
That's for sure. Around comes Rick Bates. Let's have a look at the lap times for these two protagonists. There's Bob Pearson. He's
looking on.
Got it looking through the bifocals or through the tinted part of his glasses.
That gap, that lap, a 32.52 from Mossett, a 32.52 from Bates. They're going hammer and tong at this.
Did you think that they were going to sit back and relax? There's absolutely no way. And as Bob Pearson has suggested, he's going to bring my car home and rattle wreck. Here's the Class C leader, Tyler Everingham, racing Formula 4 for Zagami Motorsport this year, and joining with Michael Arman this weekend. And Michael Arman, I've said it once, I've said it twice, and I've said it 3 times, has driven very well in this car. Nearly sight unseen, only a couple of laps early on this weekend to qualify for the race. And Michael Armand, his first start in production cars, went very well indeed. He put the car where it needed to be, and Tyler Everingham just happens to be at the wheel of it now as he guides it through to the end. And a good result for Colin Osborne, not for him personally, but Osborne Motorsport getting this car through.
Oh, HSV goes off circuit at turn 1, but not too badly. Rescues it, brings it back up. We could see that happening in the background, and we didn't know where it had ended up, but he did go off track.
We have our race leader on the final lap here for this, the second round of the Australian Production Car Series, and it's Chaz Mostert with a healthy 10-second lead now over the Evo, owned by Bob Pearson, being driven by Rick Bates. What a drive actually to Morecambe, because he wasn't hurrying early on in this race. He wasn't getting ugly. The car wasn't getting put on the dirt. And we saw Will Brown just struggling with the car under him a little bit and getting quite aggressive with it as well as he comes up to the fence. But Nathan Morecambe drove very, very sensibly. As they come around turn 11, Chaz Mostert will point the DPO Rondo Ford towards the finish line, and WM Waste coming down to the line now, just cruising. 7.8 seconds behind him is Rick Bates, and they get to the line, just trickles there, and there goes Rick Bates. Ultimately, at the end of the day, that gap came down to 4.99 seconds, and Bob Pearson has got a Evo that has been absolutely ragged. Tony Shebeki has got the winner down there at the moment, about to have a smile on his face.
Well, one of the two winners, Daz, we've got Nathan Morecambe, of course, his partner is out in the car at the moment. Congratulations, mate, well done.
Thank you. We finally got the monkey off our back and got that win for the first win for the Focus RS. Great little car. Still working out the little gremlins we got, but stoked for myself and Chaz and Direct Passport Outlet to get their first win in their new car.
Good stuff. Over to you, Wolsey.
Thank you, Tony. I'm with Bob, and Bob ultimately couldn't quite catch him, but second, a great finish.
We're happy with second, but on the restart there was about 6 cars between Chaz and Rick, and it was just too much of a gap to bridge, and I think in the end Mostert was just managing the gap anyway, so we're happy with that. We've got a result, and they're a very well resourced and professional team, so we don't mind losing to them.
Here's the final results. Chaz Mostert and Nathan Morecambe have taken out race 2 of round 2 of the Australian Production Car Series, ahead of Rick Bates and Bob Pearson, Dimitri Agathis in third spot.
Scott Gore getting home in the BMW 135i into position 4. Tyler Everingham, he gets home in position number 5. Dominic Martins in the Mini Cooper S brings home that class win there. Andrew Bollum and the RX-8 that did a fantastic job in Class C, ultimately home second. Alexandra Best, Lee Burgess and Vince Ciella in the Holden HSV.
Third win between you guys. That's a nice little combination.
Yeah, it's been good, but this car's been teasing us. We debuted it at Bathurst last round, and then yesterday we were leading in the tyre, so it's good in its third race that we can get the win for the Ford Focus RS and all the DPO boys. The amount of effort everyone puts down production down the lane here in production cars is unbelievable. Seeing the Sharon guys change motors last night, it's just as fierce racing in this production car series what it is any other category around the world.
Gary, we next see these guys go to Sydney Motorsport Park on July 7, 8 and 9.
It's only 3 weeks away, so it doesn't give us much time to get over this one and get ourselves organised to be back up in Sydney.
we're going to take a break because we go into GT Trophy race number 2, 50-minute race in just a few moments.